welcome to We're Vancouver's podcast, a podcast about religion and politics, where we talk religion and politics the entire time.
Nothing but religion and politics.
I'm just kidding.
Hey!
We've taken a hiatus, but we're back, so I wanted to go around and introduce everyone, or let them introduce themselves, starting over here with Jeremiah.
I'm Jeremiah Lehman, lived here for about 20 years, am a big fan of beer, coffee, and music, so I hang out downtown quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Rowan Rose. I've been in Vancouver for about 10 years, in Portland before that. Happy to be on this side of the river, and love the Pacific Northwest.
My name is Jason Boss. I've been here in the Pacific Northwest for pretty much all my life, and I'm one of the Brothers Cascadia people.
Nice. I'm Johnny. So I live down here in central Vancouver, in the middle of downtown. And one of the ones who started this podcast, and excited to be here. But let's go next.
I'm Brian, born and raised in Vancouver, and I work at Brothers Cascadia.
Nice.
I'm Isaac, also born and raised in Vancouver, and I work at Brewed Cafe and Pub.
I'm Chris Bauer. I've lived here my entire life. Run a music collective called Sync Up, and artistic director for Talented People.
Awesome. So this is the biggest podcast that we've had yet. I think
so.
Wasn't the biggest one like 5 people?
I think we've got 2 more people.
Now we have 6 people. So Chris Packinins, Brandon Angelo couldn't be here. Started putting the word out and ended up getting more people than we normally have. But also the most amazing people ever too, because now we have Chris and we have Isaac. Isaac, obviously a local celebrity. A lot of people know Isaac. Works at Brew Cafe. One of the best baristas I've ever known. One of the best bartenders, and one of the best people I've ever known. And then Chris Bauer, who is such an amazing person, and it has just this knack of gathering people together.
Yep.
DJs, everything else, and putting on these events that just like blow up and become huge and stuff. And is committed to Vancouver, which I think is really awesome.
I love Vancouver. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
I started kind of playing music across the river, and then as of the last year, it was a year last night, we threw a sync up party at Brood, and that was our year anniversary. So the idea is basically to bring kind of electronic music to downtown Vancouver area.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And so today we're here at Brothers Cascadia Evergreen Pub, which is an amazing spot. If you've never been here, obviously it's incredible. It's here on Evergreen Street, Evergreen, Washington. Can't miss it if you're driving by and stuff like that. Big spot, great beer, great food. One of my favorite sandwiches in the entire world. And being a sandwich fanatic, we go all over Portland, New York, and everything, just like trying sandwiches. Honestly, you guys' BLT is like the best thing that I've ever had. And I don't know why it's the best. It's just so good.
I expected you to go with something a lot more complicated than that. That's right.
Well, I like
Me too.
It's incredible. It's so good. But
Also
anyway,
the soups.
the soups are
Your guys' soups
phenomenal.
are
Shout out
tremendous.
Mal.
And I always get the soup on the side.
Yeah.
So it's always phenomenal and stuff. And I know Melissa is a huge part of making the soups and stuff, which is awesome. But I wanted to turn it to you guys. So, and also introduce you guys. And you are the purveyor or one of the owners of Brothers Cascadia. Mm-hmm. So this is Jason. Tell us a little bit about this place, Brothers Cascadia. What you guys do, what you guys are about, and how you ended up down here.
Yeah, so, we were looking for a second location for a long time. Our original location is up in Hazeldale, where the brewery is. Mm-hmm. And so downtown Vancouver just always kind of made sense for a second spot. This spot kind of came available, and it was really serendipitous because, this building has been a brewery and a beer bar for so long.
Yeah,
20, 30 years
stuff.
or something.
Yeah.
And so it has nostalgic meaning to myself and my business partners and a lot of the staff. And so it was just really kind of a cool moment where we were able to this might work out. Sure. So, and then, it's been, I think, about 6 months now that we've been doing it. And it's been really good.
I love it. And every time we stop in here, I know I come here with Isaac a lot on Sundays and stuff like that. It's always just the best atmosphere and stuff. The vibe here is just so great.
It's a beautiful building. I mean, the coffered ceilings, it's quite old, right? The courtyard with the ivy growing up in the sides and stuff. It's, summertime especially. It's just a wonderful place to come hang out.
Live music and stuff in the courtyard. It's incredible. So I want to turn it over to Brian. Brian, what is your role here, and what do you do going into? I'll ask you a little bit more about Goonburger, but talk about a little bit about Brothers Cascadia and how you put together this amazing menu and what you do.
I work in the kitchen, as I previously stated. Sorry, I'm awkward. I got a hold of Sherman and then interviewed with Jason and Sherman and Richard, his business partners, and they brought me on. And we had Marion Adams. We kind of brought her on as consultant, and her and I kind of figured out the menu, and we've tinkered it a little bit since then and added a few things and taken one or two things off, I believe. And just trying to put out good food.
I love it. I love
You guys
it.
are
Doing a great job so far.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right on.
I'll tell you what, like every time I come here, there's something else that I want to try, and everything is really, really great. That I've tried yet and stuff. The broccolini is always one of my go-tos.
It's a staple.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
staple.
The city's like not the biggest city, so when you live down here, you eat at all these places over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And like every time we come here, we're excited to like come here and try whatever you guys got like going on as far as the specials go. And
100% how I feel. Like it's there's something new all of a sudden in downtown Vancouver, and the specials are always there's always something happening, which I appreciate about you guys. And obviously, one of the best breweries in Washington, I would say.
I was gonna say the beer.
They hold up to the standard. Brothers Cascadia doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Straight kill it and everything.
So, Jason, how long have you guys been brewing beer? That's
For Brothers Cascadia,
in general.
we're about to turn 7 years.
Okay.
For Brothers Cascadia, yeah.
That's
Coming
awesome.
up here this summer, yeah.
Yeah. How did that start? What was the beginnings of Brothers Cascadia? What was that?
So my two business partners, Richard and Sherman, we all worked together at Laurelwood Brewing Company, just as front of house staff, and then we all had dreams of starting a brewery or a tap room or something, and then it just kind of evolved. We started homebrewing together and getting our feet wet and just making beer, and then the Laurelwood out in Battleground where we all worked got sold to a new guy who had a brew system that wanted to make beer commercially, and so he actually hired us to do that. So for 2 years we actually brewed for Northwood up in Battleground.
Okay. Yeah.
So we kind of we were able to get our start there in commercial brewing, right?
Sure.
And then we were able to kind of drum up some investors and get our shit together, if I can say that. Started our place up in Hazeldale about 7 years ago, and
Awesome.
yeah, it's kind of the rest is
Yeah,
history.
and if you've never been up to their place in Hazeldale, great spot, big spot, large spot,
Highway
Food
99
cart,
and 99th. So
99
Easy to
units.
remember.
Yep.
and probably the only thing Hazeldale has going for it at this point.
Not a lot of competition.
Hazeldale's fine. I like Dave's.
Fat Dave's is right there.
And Super Taco.
Super Taco.
Super great.
Which we are
Tacos
neighbors
right
with
there,
both
But
of them, which is amazing.
both of them are on that corner.
I consider
so-
Super Taco part of that food cart pod that you guys have up
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Which talk about that food cart pod. You have different food carts out there, which is great. So you can get a beer, hang out outside, and do that whole thing. It's amazing. That's incredible.
But this transition actually was the first time you had an in-house kitchen. Is that
Correct. Right.
So that had to be a totally different kind of mindset when you were planning that.
Very much so, yeah. Which, thankfully, we have the greatest backhouse staff, including Brian and Marion, who helped us out at the beginning. It really has made that transition a lot easier.
Yeah.
Again, myself and my business partners really came more from a restaurant background than a brewing background.
Sure.
And so it was fun to kind of go back to our roots with this place, which has been more of that
makes sense.
full restaurant experience rather than the brewery, which is really just a simple, we make beer, we sell beer, there's food around, but we don't have much to do with that, right?
Sure. Yeah. Which is awesome. I mean, the transition seemed I mean, for us, seamless because like the food is so good here.
Yeah.
And
Every time.
Every time.
It's
Like it's consistently good.
like amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. And the fact that like it seems like such a family. I mean, you guys can speak to this, but it seems like such a family place. Like you know, kids in here, families in here, and stuff like that. And then you have the transition to like, oh, it's a brew pub. Like we can come in here and hang out with friends.
I have a
And
lot
so-
of nostalgia for this place because back when it was Salmon Creek Brew Pub,
Oh, all the way back.
I used to do that very same thing when my kid was a little baby, and Ceres and I would come down here and, you know, be playing out in the courtyard, and I could have a couple beers, have the dogs out there in the summer, and the first set I think I ever played in Vancouver was in this building.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah, so when I found out that Brothers Cascadia was taking this place over, I was so excited.
Nice.
Like, there's a place I know I love with beer. I
Oh,
know
perfect.
I love. This is going to be great.
And you played this last summer, right?
Yes.
When we first
Yeah, yeah.
started, right?
Well, and that's another
Which
great
is very
thing about
apropos.
y'all because you guys have a lot of activity going on. Dawn does a great job of booking things, and so you've always got music
The
going
markets, the
on.
local crafts markets.
Craft
Yeah,
market, the comedy nights. It's a lot of energy,
Yeah.
but you keep it rolling, and it's really exciting. It's great.
Yeah, I love that too. Let's transition over to Brian. So, Brian, you are known in Vancouver for doing some pretty good cheeseburgers. Legendary
Legendary.
cheeseburger.
When I
You've seen
think
them
of
on-
a smash burger now, I only think of good burger.
it's
Thank you.
yeah, it's always good burger. So we've highlighted them before on our channel and stuff like that. But Goonburger has been now like one of the. It's almost like a you never know when it's gonna pop up, or you never know when it is, and so everyone shows up to where it is because it's so good. It's that good. Not just not just your burgers, but your fries. You do grilled cheese and stuff like that. Talk a little bit about Goonburger. How did that come about?
Just friend and I hanging out, drinking beer, and we were eating a smash burger over in Portland, and we were just like,
It
hey.
wasn't good enough.
No, it was a good one. It was a good one, actually. We tried a few, and some, hit or miss, we'll say. But this one was really good. It's unfortunately no longer around. Rough Draft.
Okay.
What was it?
They sold it. It was called Rough Draft.
Oh, I thought you meant that was the
They
rough
sold
draft.
it. No, and it became. I can't remember. It's in Oakshire now. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You guys are great too.
There's a lot of good smash burgers in
Yeah.
Portland, but yeah.
But and we just said, hey, we can do this, and let's do it in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Because I've always lived here, and I've always wanted good food here, kind of like you were saying with
Yeah.
the music.
Yeah.
Here we are, almost 3 years later.
It's funny
Nice.
because right before you guys started it, I was like, man, a smash burger place in Vancouver would be so dope. We just need that.
You were
To
talking
kind of-
about it.
I was talking about it,
For
yeah.
a long
Like,
time.
man, should I start something? And then you guys started, and I was like, oh, you guys, I can't.
It
I can't.
filled the gap in his heart.
It really did fill the gap in my heart. Between and this is just me, but smash burgers was needed, and then ramen in Vancouver. We just need a ramen place.
Who's gonna do that? Brian, you got that unlocked too?
Yeah, that's for
I
you.
have heard whispers from someone who owns a pizza shop in the area that he would one day maybe like to do that.
Damn.
I don't,
Okay.
I don't know. It's just
Is that
something
pizza
he's-
shop on 6th Street? Probably, maybe.
I can neither confirm nor deny. It's just nothing set in stone. It's something he said he'd like to maybe do.
That's awesome. So your smash burgers are now available here at Brothers Cascadia Evergreen.
Mondays 5 to 10. Well,
Mondays 5 to 10. But
next month, starting, I don't know when this is supposed to air, but
yeah, it'll air after that.
okay,
probably.
February 26th, right? Yes, February 26th, 11 to 10. So all day.
All day,
Damn.
All day.
all day Goon Burger.
All day
here at Brothers Cascadia Evergreen Pub. Stop in, get a beer, one of the best beers ever, and then get a Goon Burger as well. I'm excited about
Not
that.
bad, not
I'm
bad.
excited. I'm
It's
excited.
like my favorite beer and my favorite burger for real, like at the same spot.
That's
Agreed.
great.
Yeah.
You know?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What incredible. I live a block away, so real
They
fat.
can't get rid of them.
Fatter. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. So
Speaking of
Jason,
beer.
let's talk about the beer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we got a couple different beers in front of us. Maybe start with the
Start dark.
IPA, or
Okay.
what do you guys want to start with?
Sure.
Yeah,
Let's go with the IPA.
I think maybe the IPA. The darker beer is pretty intense, so
Okay.
that might be better. Anyway, so we have you knew what this was. It's a beer we've made before, but we just canned it up recently, so it's a very fresh beer. We have it in cans and on draft at both locations.
Sure.
It's a pretty fun one. Simcoe Mosaic Heavy, which are very classic hops. Particularly here in the Pacific Northwest for IPAs. Really clean, crisp, aromatic. Anyways, yeah, I've been really enjoying this one. I think it's kind of a fun one.
Well,
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Good to see you.
Do you not have one? I can open you a can.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
I'm on the clock.
Yeah, little citrusy, little stone fruity.
Yeah.
Kind of crisp and easy to drink, particularly for an IPA. So
Jason, who does your guys' artwork for the cans?
we have a couple different folks who do the artwork. You knew what this was by a gentleman named Mac Strom, graphic designer, artist who does a good chunk of our labels.
I like it.
Cool.
Yeah, I really dig that
That
one.
looks awesome.
He does a killer job.
And the beer matches the can a lot. Like it feels
It's
like
classic. It looks,
Yeah.
Clean. Yeah.
I love the little scratch. to
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's just such a nice detail. We also have this on top and in cans at Brewed. right
Oh, do you
now.
really?
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Brewed
I
carries a
think
lot
this
of
one
you
was
guys'
canned
beer.
on my
Brewed is a
Yeah.
great supporter.
If I'm not drinking your guys' beer here, I'm drinking it over there.
Can't get away from.
This is such
I
a.
guess.
I love this IPA because it's so. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's so solid. It's like such a solid West Coast IPA that like
It.
this is my go-to.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
So ever since I moved here from Louisiana and learned that, wow, this is where 90% of the U.S.'s hops are made. Oh, they put it in the beer. Oh, wow. And so I'm a huge fan of IPAs. This is very classic West Coast. And you guys do a lot of IPAs, but you manage to keep them all very distinct.
And fresh.
Yeah.
True.
Like every time
True.
I get something from y'all, it's always like super fresh, which I think adds to the quality of the beer quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Totally.
Like
totally.
if something was just canned or just kegged like a couple weeks ago, you
Yeah.
can taste it.
Particularly with the
People
IPAs,
appreciate that.
like that's
Yeah.
the trick. It's like make sure we move it quick enough so
Get
it's
the
not sitting
aroma.
around too long.
Yeah.
You know, like we want it to be fresh. Also, part of the like beauty of having the second retail location where we can move through that beer a lot quicker,
Yeah.
keep things fresh. You know, a lot of rotation and be able to trial lots of new stuff now. So it's actually been a really cool thing for our brewery to have another outlet.
And you brew at the Hazelville location.
Yeah, all of our beers brewed
Okay.
up there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
Is the Evergreen IPA only here?
No. Well, we had it at the other spot. It was predominantly
Okay.
here. It's off tap at the
Weird
moment, but
That stuff's good too.
yeah, it was a fun one. Yeah,
Yeah.
more
Classic.
traditional style,
Yeah.
classic style. Yeah.
And what's the other? So you did an East Coast one. I know. East Coast IPAs are it really.
Very different.
You either love them or you hate them. I do
Yeah.
like. I have to go to. I just like the juicy IPAs. What was your East Coast IPA called that you guys had?
You like it to juice?
Lots of them.
Yeah, you like
the
the
juice.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Love that IPA.
Yeah, one of our flagships. We almost always have them on. And it's one of the ones we do the most distribution on. So you may find that at other bars or restaurants kind
Okay.
of around Clark
Sure.
County and Portland and whatnot.
Sure.
So.
Love that. Love
Are
that.
you guys in stores or are you just only like distributing to like other like bars?
Yeah, more bars, restaurants, beer-focused places. We do
Okay.
predominantly self-distributed, so stay away from like the big convenience stores and
Sure.
grocery stores and whatnot.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyways,
But coming here to get their beer, I think.
By all
is-
means.
I was
is
just
the best
curious.
way.
I didn't.
Preferably
I
on
never
Monday.
knew.
No,
when we
yeah,
can
yeah.
get Smash burgers. So.
yeah.
But just to the audience, if you want just a good time, just come into the Brothers Cascadia Evergreen.
The Evergreen's
location.
legit, man.
Dude, this is awesome. It's
Right,
awesome.
thanks,
in here.
It's
I love
very,
it.
very good.
Yeah, always good. And you guys do sports on TV, but it's not predominantly a sports thing. Where like if you go into another play, like go into a dive bar or something like that, sports everywhere. Here it's like it's almost like you guys just tried to make it. Oh, this is just part of it. If you want to come and watch sports,
Right.
you can watch it. But here it's like the atmosphere is everything. Which I really appreciate.
Yeah,
Tell
they're
us
playing
about the
Harry Potter
bar.
back there right now.
Yeah, Harry Potter himself.
Oh, this bar is like such a classic piece of. I feel like
This bar is gorgeous. You probably can't really see it from the camera angle, but it is a complete copper surface, and it looks like
and it's like it's
a
handmade
continuous piece of-
from Paducah hardwood.
Yeah.
It's like
Beautiful.
The owner of the building had actually sponsored somebody in their immigration to the United States, and so as repayment, he was a carpenter, and so he built this bar by
Is
hand.
that the story?
Yeah, and it's like it's at least 30 years old.
Wow.
And it's just beautiful.
That's
It's such a
incredible.
cool piece of, and it's like there's a few things in here that he had also done, and so it's just kind of a cool piece of
I love it.
I feel like downtown Vancouver history at
Yeah.
this point.
Oh
gift.
yeah, I love it
classic.
so much. Yeah.
It
The
looks-
courtyard is probably one of my favorite parts about it. How you got literally like the ivy growing down all the like the bricks.
Yeah.
It's holding the building up at this point.
I'll do some video shots and B-roll over the top of this.
Yeah, you
but
got
like,
it.
yeah, just to show everything and stuff. But talk
Very
about
neat.
so during summer, it seems like such a community meeting place and stuff. One with the great food, the family environment, and the beers and stuff like that. And now, like especially this last summer, you guys had a lot of music over there.
Yeah.
Lincoln's Beard. And talk a little bit about that, like what you're trying to do with the courtyard area and like what that
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like Brothers Cascadia, like some of the stuff that we really like to do is just events and community focused things.
Sure.
And so, as much as we can, music's one of those ones that's very near and dear to our hearts. So, we'll. At this space, it's really a summertime activity, unfortunately. At the brewery, we can do it all year long.
kind of has to be at summertime here.
Right. And so definitely during the summertime, we'll be doing as much live music as we possibly can. And then we have kind of like two distinct dining areas at this at the Evergreen location. So, the other side we try to utilize as much for like First Friday art walks or,
Cool.
Sponsoring different things here and there. So as many events as possible.
I've always viewed that as like the secret dining room. I mean, there's a lot of people over there right now, but I've always viewed that as like the secret dining room. Like,
Right.
If it's too busy and you want a date, like
You can pop right on
Privacy.
over there. Yep.
Yeah.
You want some privacy? Like,
Well, with
that's-
the music thing, you guys are a lot of y'all are musicians yourselves, right?
Yeah.
There's a Tom Petty band that's pretty well renowned around here. For so, are you involved in that?
Yeah. I play guitar for the cover band, the Brothers Cascadia cover band, I guess.
And it's a cover band, but it's well worth seeing. So yeah,
We have a good time. It's fun. But just kind of, I mean, there just happened to be a bunch of musicians that worked there, and so we were all like, hey, let's just do something, and it kind of turned into like a fun work sort of thing.
yeah. Well, I love it because people with a lot of diverse interests in themselves, if you're going to go into business together, are likely to have that play out at their
Right.
place of business, and so that really shows the creativity and the
The
desire.
We
to
weren't
have
tired
outreach.
of hanging out with each other at work, so I was like, let's hang out
Hey.
outside of work too.
You want to drink beer
Yeah.
together outside of the brewery?
Yeah. Make some noise.
And we're
That's
all
cool.
obviously we're all about community building and stuff at We're Vancouver, so that was like one of the biggest parts of like once you guys like opened up and we were like, oh, let's start podcasting again. You guys were obviously one of the focuses because like that's what it's like a community gathering place. I've seen so many of my friends and stuff play in the courtyard and everyone every time I'm like, hey, you want to go get some food? Everyone's like, oh yeah, let's go to Brothers Cascadia.
It's well positioned geographically
Super well
relative
positioned.
to the movie theater, some of the other restaurants,
Yeah.
the park. So
It's
it's easy place to walk to. No matter what you're doing downtown,
Yeah.
you tend to go by it.
100%.
It's become a quick staple.
Yeah,
A quick staple. That's true. And hopefully we get Chris Bauer and his DJs and stuff to come in here. That'd be awesome.
We would love to throw a show in that courtyard.
Oh yeah.
Every time I came and
We'll
drank
talk.
beers in that courtyard,
Yeah.
I was like, be really cool in here.
Yeah. He's always his brain just always thinks like. But let's go on to the next beer.
Yeah. So this one is really fun. I think personally, it's our Shadow People, which is actually a Tom Petty song, kind of late in his career. So it's actually kind of around the cover band, and so anyways, this beer we do in collaboration with Relevant Coffee, also here in downtown Vancouver.
Love it. We've done a podcast with them too.
Yeah.
Mitch and great people.
Oh,
great
wonderful! We love those guys so much.
So
this one is a coffee porter using their Ethiopian coffee beans. It's a fair amount of Relevant coffee in this porter. I really enjoy it. I feel like you can smell if you're familiar with Relevant coffee.
It smells like
Relevant coffee.
It does smell like Relevant coffee,
which I enjoy very
100%.
much. And
even
so
their cans, like it smells like that.
Exactly. So I really dig it. This is something we also have on draft and in 4-packs at the moment. And it's also kind of apropos. Goonburger will eventually be opening at Relevant Brewery, Irrelevant Brewing, or Irrelevant Beer.
Irrelevant,
So,
That's the plan.
Irrelevant's next on our list.
It'll be Anyway, so it has a lot of the like that coffee, roasty, a little creamy. The kind of all that kind of chocolate.
I read that on Reddit, by the way. So that's the only reason I knew. Yeah.
Okay.
So the word is out.
That's how you know it's true.
That's how you know it's true.
Correct. Yeah.
Damn Reddit.
But yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
That is delicious.
Well, you're a resident dark beer girl, so
Also, just coffee and beer, generally
Yeah.
speaking.
It's a beautiful,
This is delicious.
beautiful pairing.
It is really good.
It's excellent. I highly recommend it.
I love that.
Breakfast, anytime, really.
A breakfast beer.
a coffee.
But it's not like I mean, just for me, it's not like a heavy breakfast beer. It's
Right.
it's pretty good and light. It's like drinking a cold brew almost.
I was gonna say, I was like, you could.
It's very
It's
smooth.
very crushable.
You
Yeah.
want to be delicate with it like a cold brew. You don't
Yeah.
want to chug it.
100%.
Yeah.
You enjoy it.
And Jason, what's the ABV on this?
This one's 7%. I'm very 7%.
Would
So-
not expect that.
Maybe a late breakfast.
Late breakfast.
Yeah,
Can have
the
first
caffeine
thing in the
might hit you
morning.
harder than the alcohol,
Yeah.
though. So
It's
lot
very
of,
good.
A lot of Relevant coffee in there.
I love that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, very good. So I think it's been an awesome visit and stuff. Do you guys have anything like Isaac? Obviously, shout out to Brood. Isaac is stopping in here from his barista job, and also bartending. Like you make amazing drinks at Brood and stuff like that.
Indeed.
What is it that pulls you into the Brothers Cascadia beer mug? Because you're a beer expert.
Well, and you're
So I
also
got
in
it.
charge of getting some of the
Yeah,
kegs.
I've got
that are
a
down
close
there, so-
connection with Brian. That's y'all's
Yeah.
distributor. One of the best to ever do it. Guy's a G. But
Yeah.
I mean, anytime I've ever needed, a beer on the spot. Let's say we blow a keg, we didn't have a backup. Brian's right there, bro. Like we got a beer. But on top of that, like Brothers Cascadia rose to be, in my opinion, like the premium, like Vancouver. Like we got Grains of Wrath, we got Brothers Cascadia, you got
Yeah.
Lewitt.
Yeah.
But for me, this is like a personal favorite for mine. Like I love the beer, everything they've made throughout the years, even. But
Yeah.
they just keep getting better and better.
Yeah. And shout out to Brothers Cascadia because everything that we've ever done, like we do benefit concerts and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So I was gonna say, you guys always are super cool to
Always support us.
throw a keg out to
Always
help
support
support
us.
these
Like
awesome
it's
shows.
been so rad. For anywhere from the Clements Abigail, like her health journey and stuff like that, to Gary from
Absolutely.
Brood and his health journey. You guys have always donated kegs, and you guys have always been amazing. And it was just like a natural first step of we have to stop in at Brothers Cascadia because you guys are amazing and have always been supportive. And same with Goonburger has been our it's our North Star as far as like what we need Vancouver to be, as far as like burgers, punk rock, both together. We need more of that.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah,
not the North Star part, but that's very nice.
Yeah.
Very flattering. Burgers and punk rock. That was
that, and you guys do it well,
and it's executed perfectly.
It is. All good. So we're at Evergreen in Washington, right? We're in the northeast corner. If you're coming through town, how many taps you got live here?
Oh man, like 26. Not all of those are beer. We're also carrying cider, hard seltzer, wine on draft. Relatively soon, we're gonna have like a draft cocktail program.
Cool.
There is a brewery here that, over the years with Salmon Creek and Old Ivy and everything, we're going to start utilizing that eventually for cider.
That's awesome.
So stay tuned for that. I'm not in a huge hurry for that yet. Like that's an eventuality for sure. But definitely we're going to start making cider here.
I love it.
So you'll be able to find it at both pubs.
I love that. And my wife, that's all she drinks is cider too. So, perfect. And you got you have a great cider selection anyway. So it works.
We'll always
out.
have a couple on.
Yeah. So it works out for us anyway. But thank you so much, Chris. You want to shout out Sync Up because
if you guys are in the area and want to check it out, we'll be at Ronald Records March 1st.
Ronald Records. Shout out Ronald Records too. Let's shout out as many people as we can.
I'm
in the next 5 minutes, everyone shout out as many people as you can.
For sure. No, I love your guys' beer. I found out about it a few years back when I went to Super Taco randomly.
Yeah.
Because my buddy was like, dude, you got to try this spot. We go there. I'm a huge beer enthusiast, and I was like, we should eat these tacos at that brewery if they're down with that. And we did, and then it was like, ever since then I was like, wow, I can't get enough of your guys' beer. So when I saw that you guys were moving into here, and I hang out with this guy a lot, we were talking, it was like, we live on excited. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So it works out.
Yeah. This is literally the road that takes us home safely.
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 Well, you're usually on a boosted board.
Yeah, I'm usually on an electric skateboard if it's not raining.
Yeah.
Which is probably more dangerous than driving a car.
It's awesome.
Probably.
Yeah.
So stop up here at Brothers Cascadia on Evergreen. Amazing people, amazing menu. Goonburgers here Mondays. Going to be all day. Basically all day. So stop up here, get a Goonburger before they move to Irrelevant.
You guys have made a huge impact with your Goonburger, man. There'll be
I don't know how they got so popular. So well, I know because their burgers are good, but the marketing is just on point.
I'll see all of our friends post a picture of it on Instagram. I'll be like, I'm gonna eat healthy, and then out of nowhere, 3 of my friends will post a photo of a Goonburger, and I'm like,
Chris packing his feet
I'm gonna go get
burgers and stuff.
Chris eats 2 every time.
Yeah, he gives his daughter one. Yeah,
I mean they're pretty healthy, right, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter. Come down and get one.
Get it for the source.
They're delicious.
You got your probiotics from the pickles.
There you go.
Which are the best?
Basically a salad.
It's basically a salad.
Basically.
Excellent.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
This has been such an amazing time here at Brothers Cascadia Evergreen. Definitely stop down here. Look at their menu, and you're going to order something because it's so amazing.
Great family atmosphere, great place for couples, great for hanging out with your friends, and super accessible. We're really glad to have you downtown.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
It's been awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Cool. Cheers.
And cheers to you guys. Yeah. And also, thank you for watching. And we'll be back with more.
Yeah,
and,
we're excited to bring you more insights into the wonderful glories of downtown Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah.
Don't tell everybody about it.
Yeah.